Your body is yours, right? From a young age, most of us are taught that we have control over our body and that other people shouldn't interfere with that. Right now, a lot of U.S. citizens aren't allotted this right. They don't have control over their bodies, and in reality, neither do you. Bodily autonomy, which is the right to make decisions about your own body without being controlled, is an important freedom that sadly has been taken away. Making our own decisions is integral to our lives for many reasons, and restriction of it can lead to catastrophic consequences. In the book, Being Jazz, My Life as a Transgender Teen by Jazz Jennings, Jazz tells readers about a girl named Angeline. She says, "The doctor drew the line at prescribing any sort of hormone blockers or estrogen. She was teased mercilessly at school and even hurt physically. As her sadness worsened, her psychiatrist prescribed antidepressants. However, the medication didn't work. Angeline hanged herself in her family's garage." This shows us just one of the negative impacts of not having bodily autonomy. Because Angeline was unable to access the gender-affirming care she needed, she fell into depression and eventually even committed suicide. This is actually pretty common among trans people, youth especially. However, with access to gender-affirming care, the National Institute of Health reports that trans youth experience up to 70% less suicidal ideation than before. In addition, the National Women's Law Center states that bills that are planning to limit and or ban gender-affirming care also commonly allow for non-consensual surgeries being performed on intersex youth. Restriction of bodily autonomy isn't just an issue for one group of people, it's an issue for everyone. Bills that are supposedly targeting just gender-affirming care or just abortion generally are targeting much more. Hatred spreads, and this sort of restriction spreads quickly. With access to bodily autonomy, we could all be more free. Not being controlled in your decisions is a basis of freedom and should be seen as such. Without rights to our own body, what rights do we even have? Bodily autonomy allows us not only to express ourselves how we want, but also allows us to make important medical decisions without the government interfering. Having bodily autonomy allows us to be able to access reproductive health care without restrictions, not be forced to have any sort of procedure, and choose to have procedures we may want to have. Why should the government, or anyone else for that matter, be allowed to control what you do with your body? Bodily autonomy is achievable, and it has been achieved before. Now, it's not something that happens overnight, but we already have systems in place to help us achieve it. These include voter initiatives, protests, and organizations that are geared towards creating choice for people. It may seem like a huge task to achieve, but there are many small things that can actually make a huge difference. Is there a new bill being introduced that limits rights to make choices? Protest it. Call your legislators, tell friends, go to a protest, just get the word out. If enough people speak up, change can happen. Look at the fight for abortion access in the 60s. Women realized that something was wrong, and they spoke up, and it was changed. Little by little, law by law, we can achieve bodily autonomy. Say something, do something, and show that your body is your body, nobody else's. You can make a difference to improve someone else's lives, and I truly hope you take that opportunity. Thank you for listening.